Welcome to the Bible Quiz. The books of the 1st and 2nd Chronicles provide an incredible journey through the reign of Israel's greatest kings, the construction of the temple, and God's enduring faithfulness to his people. This quiz will test your knowledge of key events, figures, and moments in the history of Israel, from the mighty warrior King David to the wise and prosperous King Solomon. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy Bible quizzes like this. Share your score in the comments below. We'd love to hear how well you did. Are you ready to dive into the world of kings and prophets? Let's get started. Question 1. Who offered sacrifices when the ark was brought to Jerusalem in 1st Chronicles? A. Joab. B. David. C. Zadok. D. Solomon. You get 10 seconds. That's B. David. David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord after the ark was placed in its tent. 1 Chronicles chapter 16 verses 1 to 2. This act of worship marked the successful return of the ark and symbolized God's presence among his people. David's devotion in this event reflects his heart for worship and reverence for God. Question 2. What was the name of David's dad? A. Kish. B. Boaz. C. Obed. D. Jesse. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Jesse. David's father was Jesse, a man from Bethlehem in the tribe of Judah. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 1. Jesse was the grandson of Ruth and Boaz, and he had 8 sons, with David being the youngest. God instructed the prophet Samuel to anoint David, one of Jesse's sons, as the future king of Israel, marking the beginning of David's significant role in biblical history. Question 3. How many sons of David are listed in 1 Chronicles, chapter 3? A. 15. B. 17. C. 19. D. 21. You get 10 seconds. That's C. 19. In 1 Chronicles chapter 3 verses 1 to 9, 19 sons of David are listed, including Solomon and his other sons from various wives. This genealogy emphasizes the significance of David's family in Israel's history, particularly in the fulfillment of God's promise that a descendant of David would always reign over Israel. Question 4. According to 1 Chronicles chapter 10, how did King Saul officially die? A. He was slain by archers. B. He fell on his sword. C. He was stoned by his enemies. D. He was killed by an Amalekite. You get 10 seconds. That's B. He fell on his sword. In 1 Chronicles chapter 10 verses 4 to 5, King Saul, gravely wounded by the Philistine archers, asked his armor-bearer to kill him to avoid capture. When the armor-bearer refused, Saul took his own sword and fell on it. This act marked the tragic end of Saul's reign and highlighted the consequences of his disobedience to God, leading to David's eventual rise as king. Question 5. The faces of the mighty Gadites were compared to what animal? A. Lions. B. Bears. C. Eagles. D. Wolves. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Lions. In 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 8, the Gadites are described as valiant warriors who were swift as gazelles and whose faces were like the faces of lions. This comparison emphasizes their fearlessness and ferocity in battle. Their swift movements and lion-like bravery made them a formidable force in supporting David during his rise to power. Adored mate, subscribe today and become part of our community. May God bless you. Question 6. Which food item did David give everyone at the Ark celebration in addition to a loaf of bread? A. Fish. B. Meat. C. Raisins. D. Honey. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Raisins. In 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 3, during the Ark celebration, David distributed food to all the people, giving each person a loaf of bread, a portion of meat, and a cake of raisins. This act of generosity marked the joyous occasion of bringing the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem and highlighted David's role in fostering unity and gratitude among the Israelites. Question 7. Which tribe was assigned the responsibility of guarding the temple gates in 1 Chronicles? A. Levi. B. Gad. C. Judah. D. Benjamin. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Levi. 1 Chronicles chapter 9 verses 17 to 27, members of the tribe of Levi were appointed as gatekeepers for the temple. Their duty was to guard the entrances and ensure that only those who were allowed could enter the holy place. This role highlighted the Levites' unique calling to serve in God's sanctuary and maintain its sanctity. Question 8. Which of these musical instruments were not part of David's celebration of the Ark coming to Jerusalem? A. Lyres. B. Flutes. C. Harps. D. Trumpets. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Flutes. 1 Chronicles chapter 15 verses 16 to 28, various musical instruments including lyres, harps, cymbals, and trumpets were used during the celebration of bringing the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. However, flutes are not mentioned as part of the instruments used. This grand procession was marked by joyful music and worship, reflecting David's reverence for God and the significance of the Ark's return. Question 9. Which of these was not the name of one of David's mighty warriors? A. Abner. B. Eleazar. C. Shammah. D. Jashobim. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Abner. Abner, although a significant figure as the commander of Saul's army, was not one of David's mighty warriors. The list of David's mighty warriors includes Jashobim, Eleazar, and Shammah, who were renowned for their bravery and remarkable feats in battle. 2 Samuel chapter 23, verses 8 to 12. These warriors played key roles in securing David's victories and establishing his kingdom. Question 10. Which one of these names was not one of Israel's 12 sons? A. Levi. B. Zebulun. C. Caleb. D. Benjamin. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Caleb. Caleb was not one of Israel's, Jacob's 12 sons. He was a prominent figure during the Exodus and one of the 12 spies sent to explore the Promised Land, Numbers chapter 13, verse 6. The 12 sons of Israel, including Levi, Zebulun, and Benjamin, became the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel, playing a foundational role in Israel's history and identity. Question 11. What kind of throne did God say David's son would build? A. Throne of peace. B. Wooden throne. C. Throne of ivory. D. Eternal throne. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Eternal throne. 2 Samuel chapter 7 verses 12 to 16. God promised David that his son would build a house for his name, and God would establish his throne forever. This prophecy referred to Solomon, who built the physical temple, but ultimately pointed to Jesus, the Messiah, who would reign on an eternal throne. This covenant emphasized God's enduring promise to David's lineage and his plan for a lasting kingdom. Question 12. In 1 Chronicles chapter 3, which of these was not listed as one of David's wives? A. Abigail. B. Deborah. C. Haggith. D. Ahinoam. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Deborah. David's wives included Ahinoam, Abigail, Maacah, Haggith, Abital, and Eglah. 1 Chronicles chapter 3 verses 1 to 5. Deborah, however, was not one of David's wives. She was a prophetess and judge who led Israel long before David's time, Judges chapter 4, verse 4. This distinction highlights the importance of understanding different periods and key figures in biblical history. Question 13. Who was the director of David's choir who is also credited with 12 psalms? A. Ethan. B. Korah. C. Asaph. D. Heman. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Asaph. Asaph, a Levite, was appointed by David as the director of his choir, 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 5. He is credited with 12 psalms, specifically Psalms chapter 50 and chapter 73 to 83. Asaph played a significant role in leading worship and writing psalms that reflect themes of God's justice, faithfulness, and the call to trust in Him. His legacy is remembered through these powerful contributions to the Book of Psalms. Question 14. Which of these families of the Levite tribe were not responsible for transporting the tabernacle? A. Merarites. B. Kohathites. C. Gershonites. D. Reubenites. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Reubenites. The Levite families responsible for transporting the tabernacle were the Kohathites, Gershonites, and Merarites, as described in Numbers chapter 4, verses 1 to 49. Each family had specific duties. The Kohathites carried the holy items, the Gershonites handled the curtains and coverings, and the Merarites transported the frames and bases. The Reubenites, being from a different tribe, were not involved in these responsibilities. Question 15. What sinful act did David commit in 1 Chronicles that led God to offer him a choice of 3 punishments? A. Took a census of Israel. B. Married a foreign queen. C. Ignored the Sabbath. D. Built a golden calf. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Took a census of Israel. David sinned by ordering a census of Israel, which was considered an act of pride and reliance on military strength rather than God's protection. 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verses 1 to 8. As a result, God offered David 3 options for punishment: 3 years of famine, 3 months of defeat by enemies, or 3 days of plague. David chose the plague, acknowledging his sin and trusting in God's mercy. Question 16. Which of these was not a subject of Jabez's prayer in 1 Chronicles chapter 4? A. Enlarge my territory. B. Keep me from harm. C. Create in me a pure heart. D. May your hand be with me. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Create in me a pure heart. In 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verse 10, Jabez prayed for God to bless him, enlarge his territory, have his hand with him, and keep him from harm. The phrase, create in me a pure heart, is not part of Jabez's prayer but comes from Psalm chapter 51, verse 10, a prayer of repentance by David. Jabez's prayer reflects his desire for God's guidance, protection, and prosperity. Question 17. In 1 Chronicles, where did many of the giants, including Goliath, come from? A. Gath. B. Moab. C. Hebron. D. Jericho. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Gath. 1 Chronicles chapter 20, verses 4 to 8. Many of the giants, including Goliath and his relatives, are described as coming from Gath, one of the Philistine cities. These giants were known for their great size and strength. David and his men, including his nephew Jonathan, defeated several of these formidable warriors, demonstrating God's power and protection over Israel in battle. Question 18. Which one of these names was not mentioned in the first verse of the genealogy in 1 Chronicles? A. Seth. B. Adam. C. Enosh. D. Abraham. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Abraham. In 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 1, the genealogy begins with Adam, Seth, and Enosh, tracing the lineage from the very first humans. Abraham is mentioned later in the genealogy, but not in the first verse. The focus of the early part of the genealogy is to establish the line from Adam leading to Noah and eventually to Abraham, the father of the Israelite nation. Question 19. Who became king after David according to 1 Chronicles? A. Nathan. B. Solomon. C. Adonijah. D. Absalom. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Solomon. 1 Chronicles chapter 29 verses 23 to 25, Solomon was anointed king after David. David prepared Solomon for the throne, and God promised that Solomon would build the temple. Solomon's reign brought peace and prosperity to Israel, symbolizing the fulfillment of God's covenant with David regarding his lineage and kingdom. Question 20. Which of these was not another name for Jerusalem mentioned in 1 Chronicles chapter 11? A. Zion. B. Jebus. C. City of David. D. The Holy City. You get 10 seconds. That's D, the Holy City. According to 1 Chronicles chapter 11 verses 4 to 9, Jerusalem is referred to as Jebus, Zion, and City of David, highlighting its transformation from a Jebusite stronghold to the capital of David's kingdom. However, the Holy City is a title used later in biblical history, particularly in prophetic writings. It is not mentioned as a name for Jerusalem in 1 Chronicles chapter 11. Stay with us until the end of the video to see how many Bible quiz questions you got right. Don't forget to note your score and share it with us in the comments section. Let's explore and learn more about the Bible with these fun and interesting questions. Question 21. Who led the Israelites in singing praises during the Ark's return in 1 Chronicles chapter 15? A. Obed. B. Ethan. C. Asaph. D. Heman. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Asaph. In 1 Chronicles chapter 15 verses 16 to 17, Asaph was chosen to lead the choir during the return of the Ark of the Covenant. As a chief musician, he played a key role in Israel's worship, and several psalms are attributed to him. His leadership underscores the importance of music in Israel's religious celebrations and worship of God. Question 22. How did God respond to Solomon's prayer in 2 Chronicles chapter 1? A. Wealth. B. Wisdom. C. Long life. D. Fire from heaven. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Wisdom. In 2 Chronicles chapter 1 verses 10 to 12, Solomon asked God for wisdom to govern Israel. God was pleased with his request and granted him exceptional wisdom. Additionally, God blessed Solomon with wealth and honor beyond any other king. This event emphasizes the value of seeking wisdom and spiritual understanding over worldly riches or power. Question 23. Who led the Israelites in rebuilding the altar in 2 Chronicles chapter 3? A. Solomon. B. David. C. Zerubbabel. D. Josiah. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Solomon. 2 Chronicles chapter 3 verse 1. Solomon led the construction of the temple, beginning with rebuilding the altar on Mount Moriah, the site where God appeared to David. This temple became the center of worship for Israel, fulfilling God's promise to David about his son building a house for his name. Solomon's dedication underscored the importance of honoring God's presence. Question 24. In 2 Chronicles chapter 20, who led the army by singing praises to God? A. Asa. B. Joab. C. Hezekiah. D. Jehoshaphat. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Jehoshaphat. In 2 Chronicles chapter 20 verses 21 to 22, Jehoshaphat appointed singers to lead the army by praising God. As they sang, God set ambushes against their enemies, resulting in a miraculous victory. This event illustrates the power of worship and faith in God's deliverance, showing that trust in Him can bring victory without physical battle. Question 25. Who restored the temple in 2 Chronicles after it had been neglected? A. Manasseh. B. Abijah. C. Amon. D. Joash. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Joash. King Joash, under the guidance of the high priest Jehoiada, initiated the restoration of the temple after years of neglect. 2 Chronicles chapter 24 verses 4 to 14. He commanded offerings to be collected for repairs, reviving worship in Judah. This story highlights Joash's early commitment to honoring God and the importance of maintaining places of worship. Well done! You did a great job with this special quiz. Whether you answered every question correctly or discovered something new, each question brings us closer to understanding the amazing history of God's people. The legacy of kings like David and Solomon reminds us of God's faithfulness, wisdom, and the importance of following His ways. If you enjoyed this quiz, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe for more Bible quizzes, insights, and challenges. Thank you for joining us, and we hope your study of God's Word continues to bless and inspire you. See you next time.